11th, 2022 school committee meeting. Before we begin, I'm going to ask Mr. Scarnes to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
That sounded great. Boy. All right, so Danvers Public School mission statement. Danvers Public Schools is a dynamic community of independent learners dedicated to respect, responsibility, creativity, and the pursuit of academic and personal excellence. This meeting is being broadcast live on Danvers Community Access Television. Is anybody else in the room recording these proceedings? I see Mark Zubrick in the background. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. And we can begin. We will make a few changes to the agenda this evening. Is Senator Lovely? There she is. I'm going to let Senator Lovely begin with an update for us. Joan, thank you for being here. We've been trying to make the schedule work for quite a while. This will take the place of our legislative update later, but we're so glad you could make it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to members of the school committee and members of the community and students. When we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, all of a sudden I heard this beautiful crescendo of the Pledge of Allegiance come over from this corner. So great job, guys. You did a really great job. I'm State Senator Joan Lovely, represent the 2nd Essex District. That includes the town of Danvers, this really charming community that I get to represent. And I wanted to come here tonight, and as the chair said, we've been trying to go back and forth for a few months to get me in here to present. I know Representative Kearns was here maybe 2 meetings ago or so, and I wanted to also come in and just say hello and let you know that I'm a resource for you. So let me just open some remarks regarding particularly the budget. As we know, the Baker-Polito administration released their budget back at the end of January. It's called House 2 because it's the 2nd year of our session and when the governor will release that budget by Constitution. And so, you know, the last couple of years have been difficult, but we've seen a lot of resources come out of the federal government. We've seen our government also be able to rebound to be able to provide the necessary funding for especially for our schools. So the good news is our stabilization fund, which is our rainy day fund. It's really important to have a really healthy rainy day fund. And after we pass this budget, we're going to be over 6.5 or 6.64 billion, probably the largest rainy day account that we've ever had. Why do we need a rainy day account? Because when it rains. So it rained during the pandemic. We had a really healthy account of almost just over $5 billion. We've been able to really put that back plus more, just in case when the next day starts to rain, and it continues to rain for weeks and months. So we've also taken a look at Chapter 70, and that's how we fund our school aid and what those increases look like. I will tell you that the legislature, both the House and Senate, likes to make sure that there is enough Chapter 70 funding to make sure that these school districts are able to deliver a quality education in your schools, especially here for the town of Danvers. So we've taken a look at those dollars, and I know that the school committee had a meeting back on February 14th to really take a deep dive into that. So I know you know it very well. I'm not going to get into all of the details, but we have seen that you got about an increase over FY22 of just north of $673,000, which you probably would have liked to see a little better bump than that. Your enrollment was down just a little bit by 84 students. We're working in the legislature to be able to have, should those 84 students return, that they're counted when they return and not in October. We usually do the school counts in October, but if students return, leave the district and come back, sometime, before the end of the school year, we don't count them in, so those dollars don't follow those students. We need to actually fix that. We did when we did the Student Opportunity Act last session, or a couple sessions ago, and then we weren't able to fund it at the very beginning of COVID. That's about $1.5 billion over 7 years. So we've decreased that to 6 years. We wanted to make sure we kept on time. So the school community, you can count on those dollars coming in on time as we enacted that, because we've shaved off that 1 year. So we wanted to make sure that was available to you. We know that each community, both the community government plus school community, also received ARPA dollars, which also helped you, or still helping you through ESSER. And let me tell you what ESSER is. That is the elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds. So Danvers received 3 installments. You had fully spent some of them, still spending a middle portion, and you still have some reserves. So that's a really good thing to be able to really plan, and that's what the school committee is doing, to plan for this community on how those dollars get spent, to accelerate reading progress, to implement instructional practices to meet the needs of a range of learners in the classroom, to help teach STEM. Very important that we are keeping up with STEM, especially in the lower grades. You've hired social and emotional learning coaches. We just met with the nurses and with the both acting superintendents. I want to get into that in a second because that was a really great meeting. But it's so important now for social emotional. We've seen students that, when you had to learn from home, right, you're learning remotely, it was hard. It wasn't an easy thing to do, and not every community could pivot as quickly as they needed to. Danvers did a really good job. And so we wanted to make sure we had those resources. And so as you come back to school, well, you're back in school, seeing each other. Isn't that nice? No masks. That's even more wonderful, right? Although I see a mask, and look, here's mine right here on my arm in case I need it. And just to make sure that our students are cared for when everyone was going through a difficult time. So we have those funds as well. Let me just tell you quickly about the meeting we had with the nurses. All the nurses from the elementary school, the middle school, and high school met with both myself and Representative Kearns last week via Zoom during their meeting. I think it was an early release day. And it was really wonderful to hear from your nurse community. So when all the students were learning remotely, the nurses stepped up in the public health world and did contact tracing and made sure that this community was really cared for. Representative Kearns and I presented actually citations to each of the nurses remotely. Those are actually in the mail. But we wanted to recognize them for the really hard work that they did. And now that students are back, and to make sure that they care for these students in every school setting. So you should be really proud of Danvers and the school nurses and everything that they're doing, and to your 2 acting superintendents for really keeping this community on track to care for every student, so you have the perfect or the best learning environment in which to live. So just wanted to quickly see what other comments that I had, so that I be able to give you a good report. I think I've covered just about everything that I wanted to, although I've got pages of facts and figures here. But I just want to tell you that this is a really wonderful community to represent. This is a really packed school committee meeting tonight. It's really great to see parents and students here engaging with your school committee so that you're able to get your questions answered and really make your voices known as to how you'd like to see this community and the education in Danvers, how you'd like to see it run. So I'm happy to stop there, happy to take any questions. I know you have a very full agenda and you've got a lot of people here, I think, who want to participate. So I will stop there and just say thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, Joan. Does anyone have any questions for the state senator? Okay, my question really is there, we talked about numbers, which is great. Are there bills pending or specific legislation that will impact education and schools in Massachusetts that you would like to just tell us about a little bit and fill us in.
So I will tell you what will impact is we have spent about half of our ARPA dollars here in Massachusetts, and we intentionally did not spend that all up front. Some states did that, and we wanted to take a more conservative approach to see where we're going to need those dollars going forward. We know we're going to need some of those dollars to continue to support educators, our students, our administration in every community, our special needs students, so our circuit breaker funding, transportation. We don't have those allocated yet, but those are waiting to be allocated where those needs are. And other legislation, I'm not on the Joint Committee on Education. I was last session, but not this session. But it has been busy to make sure, again, that we support our students. And I think the dollars are probably one of the most important, and we'll make sure that as Danvers has those needs, that we will meet them.
So anything else from the committee? Well, Senator, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We know you've got a busy schedule, and I'm glad you could take some time out to be with us, and we appreciate you and Representative Kearns and all you do for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the school committee and this whole citywide community for supporting your students, these special students right here, and every student from preschool right up through high school. This is why we do what we do. So thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So now I think we're going to move some things around. I know that some of the adults are here for public comment. And if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is let the students make their presentations, and then we can get them to do their homework or go home and go to bed so they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow. So why don't we move right into the student presentations. Mary, if you want to kick it off or tee it up or however we want to say it.
Sure. This is, we had Thorpe School is here to present for us. They are part of our Safe and Supportive Schools work that we've been doing. We've made presentations from January to February to March and now in April. So they're going to talk about their Tiger 5.
Yeah. So thank you for having us here tonight. And before I begin, I just want to thank all the parents and families that are here supporting our students. It really means a lot. We've got some great children here from 3rd and 4th grade, Mrs. Moralia's class and Mrs. Baltimore's class. So thank you for being here, and thank you for doing, this is like an after-school club for you right now, so thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity to present a program that we've developed, which is a multi-tiered system of support for all our students. We want to encourage healthy and positive behavior and social interactions. This has truly been a grassroots initiative that is a result of collaboration between all stakeholders, all teachers, special educators, teacher aides, and members of the Thorpe School Council. Tiger 5 promotes the traits and characteristics we want our students to exemplify as they go on to middle school, high school, and really throughout life. It's really my pleasure to be here with these children tonight. They're very sweet, and they're going to show you what Tiger 5 is all about and what Tiger Week meant to them. At this point, I'm also pleased to introduce Michael Amaral, my assistant to the principal, and music teacher, and Mrs. Megan Ataya. They have really been the facilitators of our Thorpe SEL steering committee, and they have really guided us through this process. So I'm really proud of them, and here they are. Thank you.
So the work we've been doing is very special and unique to our school community. It started as a community-led endeavor from a grassroots movement from our wonderful faculty and staff to support our students and their strengthening our school community. The district has had a focus on building up our resources for social emotional learning, equitable learning and supports, which has led to the opportunity and really true desire and need to build a multi-tiered system of support for all of our schools, specifically for social emotional learning and our behavior needs of our students. The catalyst of this work began back when a group of teachers were engaged in our anti-racist study group, and we identified that our SEL program and our behavior management system really needed to be realigned to better bring the vision of equity and an equity-seeking district to our school. So the school leadership team utilized a whole bunch of resources, specifically the DESE Acceleration Roadmap, our MTSS guide, the PBIS program and system, as well as another one called CI3T, and the Castle 5, which is our big district social emotional learning program, to create a multi-tiered system of support for social emotional learning and behavior for all of our students. We really started by engaging our faculty to build school-wide expectations, which gave us the Tiger 5. And in the future, Mrs. Attai will speak to our vision for what's ahead for us.
Our future goals and vision for the Tiger 5 and the MTSS program is a systematic screening to identify students for Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention and support, evaluate effectiveness and fidelity of program using behavioral and SEL data, support anti-bullying programs that are already established in the schools, community and family partnerships, maintaining an equity focus for all of our students, and building and implementing Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports. So the school leadership team established a building-based SEL steering committee. It's of 10 volunteers who have been working bi-weekly throughout the school year. This is tied to our school improvement plan to foster a welcoming, inclusive environment where all of our students feel a sense of belonging. Our school community knew that our students are showing diverse and unique needs this year, especially as we return to learning from a remote model. So our focus on the committee is to respond to the deep desire from our faculty and our need to innovate ways to support our students' diverse and emerging needs over the past 2 years. We needed to do something new and make sure our students are ready for learning, so we are attending to their needs of social, emotional, behavioral, safety, and support.
Thank you, Mrs. Attai. As Mrs. Attai said, we have been meeting over the past year to really focus on what we really want to do for our work and for our students. And what we centered around was really trying to center their voice and choice, as well as engage our staff in getting their voice and choice in our school community and school council. As a result, we formed the Tiger 5, which our wonderful Thorpe Tigers here will present to you in a few moments. We also did Tiger Week, we did Tiger Fest, our music concert, and we planned some upcoming Buddy Up Days where our older learners will become peer role models for our younger students for some SEL programming. So this work is also aligned with our behavior support system, which is really cool because it's tied into our idea of where we want to go with how we're going to work with our students and doing discipline differently, and particularly really giving them accountability measures as well as restorative actions combined with scaffolded support to teach them the discipline of social emotional learning and what they need. And as they be successful in their tenure, not just here in the Danvers Public Schools, but as they leave us and go on to become citizens of the world. So speaking of our wonderful citizens, it's my pleasure to introduce our 4th grade friends who are going to come up and share with you all about our Tiger 5 school-wide expectations and their experience with Tiger Week. Yeah.
You made it.
Hello, my name is Luke. During Tiger Week, our class participated in activities to learn the Tiger 5 and what they mean. The Tiger 5 is teamwork, integrity, growth mindset, empathy, and responsibility. Each morning, we started off with a whole school Zoom meeting, where Mr. Amaral and Miss Ward kicked off our character trait for the day. Then each day our class participated in lessons and games to define the meaning of words and practice how we can show them. In the morning each day we state the Tiger Pledge, which is, at Thorpe School we are Tigers. As Tigers, each one of us strives to show teamwork, integrity, growth mindset, empathy, and responsibility.
Hello, my name is Bryn. On the first day of Tiger Week, we learned about teamwork. In our class, teamwork means working together, being kind to your group, including each other, helping others, and we before me. At school, we show teamwork by including each other in games at recess, helping out to clean in the cafeteria, sharing supplies in the classroom, helping people who have a question, and sharing the responsibilities in our class. To practice teamwork, our class played games and activities where we had to work together to achieve a goal. For example, we played the smiley face sticker game, clapping game, and dice game.
Hello, my name is Hadley. On the second day, our class learned about integrity. In our class, integrity means doing the right thing when no one is watching, being honest, owning up to mistakes, supporting others through hard times. At school, we show integrity by helping others with work or cleaning up, throwing trash away that we see on the floor, answering questions truthfully, keeping our word in friendships. To practice integrity during Tiger Week, we thought about situations where it's often hard to do the right thing. In groups, we acted out skits of what the right thing to do would be, as well as the wrong thing.
Hi, my name is Lauren. On the third day, our class learned about growth mindset. In our class, growth mindset means telling yourself you can do it. Keep trying when things are challenging, never giving up, persevering through hard work, knowing you can improve your brain muscles. At school, we show growth mindset by finishing our work even if it gets tough and thinking about the language we use in the classroom. Instead of I don't get this, we can say I don't get this yet, but I will. To practice growth mindset during Tiger Week, we tried a very difficult paper folding challenge. It felt impossible. Mrs. Baltimore listened to the words we said if we felt defeated. After the task, we talked about the fixed mindset language we were using and how we could use growth mindset language to build ourselves up and encourage each other.
Hello, my name is Bennett. On the fourth day, our class learned about empathy. In our class, empathy means putting yourself in other people's shoes, understanding how others are feeling, knowing that your opinion is not the only one in the room, and thinking about how your actions affect others. At school, we show empathy by making sure people do not feel excluded at recess or in the classroom, supporting a friend if they are feeling sad, celebrating with friends if they are feeling happy, and asking others how they feel rather than assuming. To practice empathy during Tiger Week, we played a charades game where we had to guess our classmates' emotions. We also realized empathy is a hard skill to practice, and we need to find it in the moment. For example, last week someone made a mess in the cafeteria. Instead of focusing on who did it or who was to blame, we talked about feeling empathy to our amazing custodian, Mr. Powers, and how he felt in that situation. Our actions affect others, even if it is something as simple as spilling food and not cleaning it up.
Hello, my name is Julia. On the last day of Tiger Week, our class learned about responsibility. In our class, responsibility means taking care of something or someone, including our school and classmates, cleaning up our spaces when we are finished, taking care of our materials, and being respectful towards others. At school, we show responsibility by taking care of our school and materials we use, cleaning up after ourselves when we are finished with a task, taking ownership of our classroom, knowing it is all of our responsibilities to keep it clean and respectful. To practice responsibility during Tiger Week, we read a book as a class called What If Everybody Did That? This book showed us that even though we may not think it is a big deal if we shout out instead of raising our hand, it will make a big difference if everyone started doing that. Just one small responsible action from a fourth grader can make a big difference. You will hear more about this book from our third grade friends.
Hi, my name is Harrison. What does it mean to be a tiger at Thorpe School? Being a tiger means helping others, fun, kindness, honesty, helpful, brave, caring, friendly, working together, powering through, doing the right thing when no one is watching, cleaning up the school, doing something nice without being told to, smile at people in the hall, understanding how someone is feeling, trustworthy, responsible, loyal to friends and classmates. We are Tigers.
Thank you, 4th grade. My name is Maeve. Now you will hear from Mrs. Morales' 3rd grade class. We are going to share some of our favorite books that we used and activities that we did based on the Tiger 5. One of the books that we read that focused on teamwork was The Hard Hat for Kids.
My name is Agella. We learned a cool acronym for teamwork, we before me, which describes the characteristics of teamwork. W stands for work hard, E stands for encourage, B stands for believe, E stands for effort, F stands for friend, O stands for optimism, R stands for respect, and E stands for enthusiasm.
I'm Novalee. One of our teamwork activities was building towers out of marshmallows and toothpicks. The goal was to build the highest tower possible. It was a bit of a disaster, but with teamwork, we made it work the best we could.
My name is Cruz. We also read a book called The Empty Pot. It is an old Chinese folk tale that focuses on integrity and the importance of being honest. We then did some role playing and performed different skits with a partner. One that showed integrity and one that did not. One example of a skit was based on it's ice cream day and you didn't bring any money, but you find $1 on the floor. What would you do?
Hi, my name is Isaac. Another book that we enjoyed was Bubblegum Brain. Ready, get mindset, grow. Here we were introduced to Bubblegum Brain and Brick Brain, two kids with two very different mindsets. It taught us the importance of having a growth mindset.
I'm Chase. Having a bubblegum brain means that you like to chew on your thoughts. Flex, bend, stretch your brain, and expand the way you think. You know that mistakes help you learn. You have a growth mindset.
My name is Liam. Having a brick brain, it means you have a fixed mindset. You think there's no way you can learn hard things. You think you would fail and you would rather quit.
Hi, Maya. We also learned that it's important to add yet to every I can't statement that you make, and don't ever stop at I stink. What matters is most is how you work.
My name is Reese. Another book that we read was Stand in My Shoes. This book taught us about empathy. Empathy is being able to understand how someone else feels. It is when you feel an emotion with someone, even if you're not in the same situation, and when you see things from someone else's perspective.
I am Nihal. We then worked in groups to come up with ideas of how we could help kids in different situations. such as someone facing a bully and someone having a really hard time with math. We put ourselves in their shoes.
My name is Addie. A final book that we would like to share is What If Everybody Did That? This book focused on responsibility and making good choices. It was about community and remembering we all play a part in keeping our school, neighborhoods, and community safe and happy places.
I'm Sully. This book reminded us that we all need to be responsible, make good choices, and understand that our actions have consequences. For example, shooting straw wrappers while out at a restaurant, taking a lick of the frosting from that fancy cake, throwing an empty soda can out the car window. What if everybody did that?
My name is Kyla. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We hope that you enjoyed learning about how we strive to be a tiger every day by practicing the Tiger 5, showing teamwork, integrity, growth mindset, empathy, and responsibility. We can all be successful tigers. Thank you and good night.
You did a fantastic job tonight. Can we give them another round of applause? And I really think they get it, don't you?
Yeah.
Again, I want to thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and sharing this with you. We're really excited about this. This is something we talk about a lot at school, and as you can see, it's taking root with our children, which is the whole goal. I want to thank Mrs. Morali for being here tonight. Mr. Amaral and Mrs. Ataya, it's wonderful working with you. And again, any questions?
Questions from the committee or comments? No?
I just want to say, how do you, Mrs. Ward, how do you have a whole group of great public speakers in fourth grade?
I got a great bunch of supported teachers, and they do a great job every day. So this is what you get. So
You guys were great.
yeah,
You
they
guys
did a
did a great
fantastic job. Really, really proud of them.
I say it all the time, but I mean, the
This
kids
is
they do just a tremendous
Your
job.
favorite part, right?
It's my favorite part. Yep.
So I'm going to ask everybody if the kids could just indulge us for another few minutes without leaving, just a few minutes. After 15 years, this is Mr. Skarmas's last school committee meeting. He's given, Arthur, you have given great service to the town of Danvers and to the schools. And it has been my honor to have the chance to serve with you for so long. And your presence here has really made a difference. You have made a difference here. And I know you're a man of few words, but I thought the kids and everybody in this audience should hear that. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
We have a small token of our esteem.
Thank you. I'm going to open it later.
There you go.
Because we have a lot of people here.
Arthur, thank you.
I just want to say just quickly that it's been this was supposed to happen 3 years ago, and nobody ran, so they talked me into coming back one more term. That was a good choice. But I just want to say this, that it's been an honor and a actually pleasure to serve with all of the people that have been on the committee with me over the past 15 years, including the four that are with me now, and Bill Bates and Jean and Connie and Dave and Mary Beth. Everybody's a highly professional group of people. We've disagreed often, but we've never had any problems coming to solutions and trying to come up with answers. And that's because they've all been good people. They've all cared about what we're here for, which is, whether you agree with us on a particular issue or not, we're just trying to do the best for the kids. The committee will be great going forward. We have two new great members that have been really great to work with this year, Eric and Jeff. have been great. And Paula and Gabe, if you're here, whoever gets on here, I'm sure you'll do a great job too. So thanks, Eric. Thanks, everybody. And I'll still be watching. Just one more thing. I also want to say thanks to the administration that we've worked with, Keith and Mary, and also Lisa and some of the people aren't here anymore, Sue and Rich Warren at the beginning. Everybody's been great. So, it's been a good 15 years, but it's time to go.
Thank you, Arthur. All right. So with that, if now you can go do your homework now. Thank you for indulging us. I mean, you can stay, but.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Just let me
I'm
stay
going to
here.
give them just a second to.
They don't have that we rode that we all. We don't want to go to bed either.
Good job, guys. Great job.
Good job. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Great job.
Excellent.
Luke had the hardest job because he had to start it off.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Let's move on to information. I'm really taking things out of order, but information from the student representative.
Hi, everyone. I'm Reese McDonald. I'm a junior at Danvers High, and I'm going to give you our student updates. Our other student representative, Lil Montevecchi, couldn't be here, but they wrote down a couple things for me to say, so this is just a mix of both. So recently we had a Trans Day of Visibility Vigil on March 31st that was held by PRISM to mourn the lives of trans peoples that were lost to hate crime / increase visibility for trans people in the community. Students spoke at the event and had an amazing turnout, and we're hoping to continue this event next year. Danvers Pride is happening on June 4th, and students can get involved by submitting artwork to HRIC for a chance to have your art used on Danvers Pride 2022 t-shirts and tote bags. DHS Acts, which is our theater program, has started rehearsals for their musical Seussical this year, which is exactly what it sounds like, a Dr. Seuss musical. And we just finished up Drama Fest, where we performed Horse Girls, and moved on from prelims to regionals. And we recently had anti-bias trainings that were organized by Northeastern last week, and those also had amazing turnouts. And that's it.
Thank you, Reese.
When's the next round of Drama Fest?
So this year, due to COVID, we only had 2 rounds, so we moved on to regionals, and that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. Lily over there was also a part of our cast, and very fun. Got to meet a lot of different theater groups, and it was nice to finally get back into the world of theater after COVID and all of the remote learning. So it was very fun.
Great. That's great.
All right. Thank you.
Can I just say something?
Sure, please.
Reese, I truly enjoyed watching you watch the young kids. You look like a proud parent. Good job. So I think it's important for the young students to see you as such a strong representative of Danvers High School. So just thank you for being a happy, positive face for them when they were up there.
No,
I'm sure they were nervous.
I love the social emotional learning stuff. We do a lot of that at Danvers High, and we have the chorus corner that is dedicated for SEL and all that stuff. So we all understand it and we all love it.
That's great.
Thank you. One more presentation involving students, the early college program update.
Yes. You forgot the Danvers High video.
I was saying we have 2 items. So we also have what we're dubbing the recruiting video for Danvers High. We have students here to present that video because they worked hard with one of our teams.
Whatever order you want to go in, let's do that.
So why don't we do that next?
Okay.
That was under information.
And we'll get to public comment.
So we can invite Mrs. O'Neill up,
Mr. Federico.
and Mr. Federico and our students.
Oh, that's awesome. Hi.
Welcome.
So thanks for having us. This video was, I asked Miss O'Neill and her students to help us tell the full story of Danvers High School. We feel it's important that the public and parents in our district get a sense of what Danvers High is truly all about. And so I gave our teachers and our students that simple task, and they created this video. So we're gonna show it, and then do you want them to talk first? But I think we'll show it, and then we'll just have them talk a little bit about their process. Morning, Danvers High School.
DHS is exciting. Unique.
Challenging. Interesting. And ever changing.
It's full of talent.
Friendships.
It's full of grit.
And passion.
It's a community. That's committed to progress.
Inclusivity. And support.
DHS means to me a second home with great people.
DHS is a very caring community with amazing teachers and many chances to step out of your comfort zone.
To me, DHS means community, and going to DHS means I get to have a bigger voice in our community.
DHS introduced me to Falconize, which helped me better my skills as a singer and as a performer.
To me, DHS is a place to learn, but also a place to make friends and family.
DHS is cool.
DHS is important to me, a place where I can make my mark and learn.
DHS is family.
DHS is the high school where I've learned so much about myself, others, reality, and I've made many memories out of All right. Talk first about it?
Yeah, sure.
Well done.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Rachel Shark. I'm a senior at Danvers High School. And I have been in, so the TV seminar group was the one who did this. TV seminar is the most advanced class you can go to in film at the school. And I've been in it for 2 years now. And I found my passion in there and stuff, which is what I'm doing in college. Enough about me. The video that we had prepared was a project for all seminar students, counting all 6 of us, to create something to captivate not only what our school means to us, but how we can show the school to others. It was at a kind of perfect timing, you know. We have been on the news multiple times, and we have such a negative connotation to our name that we wanted to showcase what other things that we have. The news has only showed small events that have happened in the past, whereas most of these videos were from this year. It shows that students are having fun, students are continuing to work on themselves and continuing to work together in groups and teamwork and in sports and everything like that, no matter COVID or the situation that society has put us in. And we really wanted to show that with the video, and especially to upcoming 8th graders, because we have a big competitor that people can go to, which is Essex Tech. We don't want them going there. We want them going here. So having this video really showcases, you know, this is who we are. We are Falcons, you know. We have such a positive impact on everyone. You know, I'm thankful that I was given the education that I've dreamed of. You know, I'm going to my dream school. And because of, you know, all the education that I've been given and stuff like that, I got the major that I wanted, which is communications and media, thanks to Miss O'Neill, because she's the one who showed me the passion that I loved. And I also got into an honors program and with a presidential scholarship because of all the teachers that have helped me out. And we really just wanted to showcase to not only the eighth graders coming up as freshmen, you know, this is who we are. We also wanted to show parents, teachers, people outside of our school that, hey, we're not a school to look down upon. We are not this, you know, connotation that the news has given us. That's one small event that happened. Look at where we are. Look at who we are. That doesn't define us. You know, that's in the past. We pushed that away. We've grown from it. We've had so many walkouts, as we said, for the things that were happening. You know, we have inclusified everyone. I don't think that's a word. I didn't prepare anything, so this is kind of what's happening. We've really brought together everyone, and we wanted to showcase that in a video made by students, because, you know, we can get as many voices from parents and as many voices from teachers and stuff, but as many feel, students are the true impact. You know, we are the up and coming generation, and not only that, but we are the face of the school. We are the biggest part of the school, and having us be able to talk to our voice like I am doing now for other students, you know, it is really helpful to be able to make not only the school such a positive place, but make the town such a place for up and coming scholars and stuff like that. So thank you.
Just to jump in quickly, Rachel has done an amazing job, and so the rest of our students, but it really was such a collaborative effort amongst the students and myself in that class. And it's something that, you know, the idea started from Mr. Federico, but then what we did with it in class is we took it and said, okay, how can we do this? How can we tell this story? And they came up with a great idea to reach out to all of the community blogs to get the words, all of those words you heard in that, whether you saw the video, like sound bites of students, or you heard their voices, those were words from students, all of them, and they all gave permission to use them. But and then putting it all together as a narrative to see, like, what can we visually show to demonstrate these ideals that they have, and, you know, what we represent here. And it was really an incredible collaborative process from my perspective as an educator, but also I think, you know, as a producer as well. So I think that they did a really remarkable job, and we hope that the pride that they see amongst themselves and in the school is visible through that video that they put together. Do you have any questions about it? How it went together? Anything like that?
I do. So, well, first of all, thank you very much. That video was awesome, and I feel like long overdue. And as a community, I hope we can come together to support this school, because I feel that the last couple of years, it's been a divide, and we need to come together and support you as a community here in the high school. And hopefully everyone in this room will vow to do that, because I think you all deserve that. How are you planning to use the video? I'm curious.
So we have posted it on YouTube for viewing purposes, of course, but we are also showing that to 8th graders. I know that I am going to be, yet again, a voice. People love me talking. I'm going to do pretty much what I'm doing here to 8th graders at the middle school. And we have other students that are likely going to come with me and Miss O'Neill and stuff, do a little field trip, and try to coerce them. And I don't know, I feel like it'd be kind of cool if, try and get this on the news.
Yeah, it's like a larger plan that needs to be discussed amongst, the administration and central office. But we would really like to see it, become something real. Sorry, they're gonna start playing the piano.
Maybe we can get time on topics of the town.
Right, just a really positive impact if we can do that, But for starters, here in the district, at the schools and in the community, right? That's where we should start. Let's refocus, and remind people like who we are, and what we're proud of, and what we can do, right? So we'll start there, and then punt it to the admin to figure out what's next.
Well, thank you. You are a great voice for the students. So
Holy Mary,
I think I see a future school committee.
No, so where are you going to school?
Merrimack.
So you won't be that far. So can we hire you to go and kind of do publicity for us too?
I might have to get some money for that.
I said hire.
Little summer job on the side. Yeah, I could probably do that.
You had no notes there, right?
No what?
Was that all off the cuff? No notes?
Yeah, that was just
pretty impressive. Yeah, that was really good.
My parents say I talk a lot, so
You used it well.
decided to go towards film because I like talking. So
there you go.
Great
Is there
job.
any questions on like how it was made or anything? How it was edited, filmed?
how long did it take?
3 weeks?
Longer than that. I think the entire process was a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
There's planning.
Yeah.
There's filming. A lot of that was original filming from this semester. So you saw some with masks, some without masks.
Yeah. I know that a lot of, we kind of split up a little bit. So we had, since there's 6 of us, we kind of divided into twos. So 2 students would go and get clips needed. Another 2 students would start like editing the stuff that we had. And then I was designated as kind of the person to get the voices and stuff like that. So all of the voices that you heard are in a spreadsheet that I've created that are like, I color coded this. Yeah. It's beautiful. I'm very proud of it. It has everyone's name that talked, whether they wanted to speak on camera or not, whether they wanted their voice on camera or not, what they were going to say. It was color coded by grade. I mean, it was all over the place. I worked on that. And anytime that I finished filming someone, I'd check them off and stuff like that. And Miss O'Neill printed it out for me. So I was going through names, checking off people, going to classrooms, filming and stuff like that. And so were the other students. We had kids in the back editing, focusing. I was mostly Hunter Blaze and Jane Kelly were in the back doing a lot of the editing and stuff like that. And then we had Michael Sadowski and Kevin Rogers were off taking videos of other things and stuff like that. So it was all such a collaborative effort that we all had very different opinions about. So it took a bit to kind of come to a consensus, but
see, this is part of what this is why I turned it into an assignment. I mean, it was a learning process for all of us, right? I'm used to, in my past career, being sort of a producer director, but for them, they've never worked in a collaborative environment like that, where you have 6 very different voices that really need to learn how to come together, but to hear each other, listen to each other, and then like combine them all together. And so while they did switch roles a lot of times, that is part of the reason why it did take a little bit longer than we initially anticipated, because the process was really important. you know, in terms of filming, in terms of editing, in terms of writing, in terms of research. All of those things had to come together, and they all did little bits of it and then ended up bringing it together.
I think it took a little bit too, because his opinion mattered, and we didn't want to like make him, you know, we really wanted to make the school look good, and if he didn't like it, we were kind of screwed. That was a month's worth of work that he just didn't like, so we need to make it like perfect, so that's why it took a really long time.
So I know you said it's on YouTube. Have you been able to share this with everyone, like during community block or anything? The whole school?
Not yet, but I think we should probably do it this week.
Yeah.
Seniors last week is this week, so
Oh, you got to get it before they go on.
yeah, I'm out of here.
The goal was you all and administration first, and then sort of discuss like a bigger, wider plan where we can share it with the school and then amongst the community. Yes.
Awesome.
Well, great. Thank you both.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
We also should credit Adam for childcare.
Yes, here we go.
All right.
Is there another section, Mary?
Well, yes, everything's out of order. So this is part of the strategic plan. We have one more presentation from Danvers High School, along with kind of like the work that we've been doing as part of the strategic plan. So I want to call up James Sullivan and Lily to come and help present. Today's topic around the strategic plan is the early college program that we instituted in Danvers High. So we tried to get this going prior to COVID, and we were just starting the program when we were forced to go fully remote. So that program ended, and we didn't have a lot of students engaged in that. So last year we had time to reboot this program, and I really want to thank James Sullivan as taking on the coordinator role, and we have a great team of teachers helping us plan and get this program ready to go. And what's so great about the early college program here at Danvers High, it's in collaboration with North Shore Community College. It really brings in it kind of realizes all facets of our strategic plan, the engaged student, that it is a coherent curriculum and instruction and assessment. It's a rigorous college level work. It is a safe and supportive learning environment. We're helping students transition into taking college level work, but with supports of high school. And then the diversity, equity, inclusion, that we were looking for a variety of students to participate in this program. So I think we'll be hearing about that, and I'm going to turn it over to James.
Well, thanks for having us. So I'll just kind of hit some of the basics about what early college is, and then I'll turn it over to Lily to kind of give you the day-to-day student perspective. So we're really excited about early college because it's going to provide another avenue for students to access college level work. Right now, students can take AP courses and earn college credit that way. But by doing this early college program with North Shore Community College, they'll be able to earn college credit here at Danvers High School and use that as they move forward. So what is early college? So it is a state initiative looking to kind of increase underrepresented populations' access to post-secondary education. So we've set up a partnership with North Shore Community College. Obviously, they're right here in town. It makes great sense. They've been really easy and great to work with. And the idea is to provide kids the opportunity, or students the opportunity, to take classes over there during their school day here. Earn college credit and high school credit at the same time. And if they do complete the full program, they would have taken 5 college courses by the time that they graduate from Danvers High School. So the students will take the college course. They take it on Tuesdays. You can see right there, they head over at 9:18, come back at 10:44. So they miss one of their classes each week to attend that class. So we built in a support block into each kid's schedule that is to kind of help them make up the work that they might have missed while at North Shore Community College, but also to help them access the college material while they're here at Danvers High during the day. As I said, it's an alternate pathway to the college level work, so we're pretty excited about that to get more kids access to that high rigorous coursework. So right now we're in Cohort One. So Cohort One is the current sophomore students. They're taking Understanding Higher Education and Career Pathways. As I mentioned, they're supported by instructional technicians, Ms. Amanda Bondi and Ms. Karen Kaur, in the classroom with them each day to help them with that coursework. and also help them with the assignments that they're getting from their professors over at North Shore Community College. Cohort 2 is the one that we're building out right now. So about 2 weeks ago, I presented to the 9th grade class in community block just to kind of give them an overview of what early college is and ask them to, you know, respond to a Google form with their interest so that we can kind of start building our second cohort. So Cohort 2 would not start until the spring semester of their sophomore year. And then the current sophomores will take 2 semesters of classes next year. They'll be taking speech and communication in the fall, and then English composition in the spring semester of their junior year. So that would be your Comp 101, highly transferable course. It's, you know, kind of the basics of many college degrees. So there's a lot of supports that we have for the early college students, both here and at North Shore Community College. So we have the mentors, we have tutoring through North Shore that the students can access. They, you know, right now with the way things are going, it's online. It'll also be in person, and they can also do group study sessions if they choose to. Accessibility services is available through North Shore. And then we have early college coaches and staff. As Ms. Wormers mentioned, there's a team of teachers that are kind of working on this and finding out different ways to support the students as they move through. Each class over at North Shore is taught by a college professor, so they have access to the college professor in the usual way that you would through office hours, obviously on Tuesdays when they're at the campus. And the students have access to the full North Shore Community College facilities, so the library, the CAF, the writing center, the tutoring center, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really cool experience for them to get over onto a college campus, kind of see what supports are there, and kind of experience what college is while also being supported here to meet the needs. So enough for me. I'll turn it over to Lily now to kind of take you through the day-to-day stuff as a student.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm a sophomore at DHS. So on Tuesdays around 9:10, we leave our classes. So that would be like our second block. And we have these little passes that we keep with us at all times so that at 9:10 we can leave our class so that we can get to our bus, which leaves at 9:15, which there is no like announcement. So it really promotes responsibility of being a college student, making sure you get to your class on time. And then we get to North Shore at around like 9:30ish, and we go to our class, which right now is Understanding Higher Education. And we have our lecture, which we have to take our own notes. It's not like teacher sits there and be like, you have to take these notes. So we really have to be responsible about what we are doing while we are in the class. And then we leave the school around 10:30 and come back to DHS and get here around 9:45, and we go to our next class. So some stuff about Understanding Higher Education. So we have a lot of classwork. So there's like discussion boards and, sorry, the slides presentation isn't up anymore.
Something happened to my computer. I don't know.
It's still not up there.
It's
an
it's
Apple
not?
TV.
No.
Dropbox was next on there.
Oh yeah, there was there's drop boxes and then other types of things that we use for our classwork, which is all on Blackboard through the North Shore website. Blackboard is just like a Google Classroom, only it's for the college. So we also got to learn how to use those things. Thank you. So, and then we have our midterms and finals. So midterms may have gotten canceled at DHS, but they did not get canceled at the college. So we had to write a paper about someone in our lives who has gone through college. It could have been a teacher, a family member, a friend. And we had to write about what their college experience is, since we are learning about college and how to deal with college and stuff like that. And we have to just like take notes. We do tours a lot. We actually on Tuesday took a tour of North Shore, and it like showed us where all of our stuff that we can go to get help is. And then there's also like online experiences. Like we did this thing called Reality Check, and it's like, hey, by the way, when you go to college, you're not going to immediately be able to do all the stuff that you want to do. Like you're an adult,
but that doesn't mean you get to do all the things that you think you can as an adult. So it like showed us how to manage our money. So there are a lot of things through early college that I have learned myself that I don't think you really learn in a high school setting, which it's really cool that I get the opportunity to do these things. So like, there's no teachers looking at you and being like, you need to get this in. Like, we have our like coaches, but they can't see if we turned in our work or not, at least that we know. So we have to really be responsible for ourselves and our learning. It also taught me how to take really fast and effective notes, because this college professor, he is amazing, and it's Professor Green, and he literally is such a fast talker, and you have to like just scribble down your notes and make sure you get them all down. They also don't tell you what to write, which I'm so used to here at DHS, so it's very fun to learn these things. You also get to learn about the workload of a college student. So like, you can't take a 6-day class, 6 classes in a day when you go to college, because there's so much work that you have to get. It also, like I said, money management with the reality check. It also taught me how to look for what I want to do in my future, for like, if I want to go to a 2-year college, or if I want to go to a 4-year college, or all these other things, along with the fact that college isn't the only option. It also taught us how college actually is. Like, when I first went in, I thought that all college professors were like really mean and that I was not going to have any fun. And in all honesty, this college class is so fun, and it's really an amazing opportunity. And the actual difficulty level, like, I thought that I was going to be like struggling to figure out how to do work. It's not that hard. It's like a high school class. Like, I've been able to definitely get all the work done, especially with having that extra block during the day. Lastly, it taught us how to set up an effective college schedule. So, like I said, you can't have 6 periods in a day of college in the actual college. So it taught us how to know what we can and cannot handle when we get to college.
Thank you, Lily. So that's, encapsulate. She's in the Understanding Higher Education course. So that is an onboarding, like a transition course to have them, get them used to taking college level courses. So when she hits her junior year, though, I think she gets into real English classes that are transferable to other higher ed institutions, not just community colleges, but also 4-year state colleges and universities. So that's when the real work begins. Great. Do you have any questions?
Thanks. Questions or comments?
I do, because I think this program is amazing, and I think we need to do a better job as a district promoting it, because I know that not all schools are offering a similar program. So I think it's fantastic. Currently, how many students do you know are in your
I think
cohort?
there's 19.
So there's 19. So there's 19 students right now. We can go up to 25.
Okay, so we do have a limit.
Yep. So there was, everything that was going on, some issues with some students, and they have different policies than we did.
Okay.
But yeah, so we can have 25 for cohort, but right now we're at 19.
And then so students apply for it pretty much, and
Yep. So same thing as this year. There's a presentation overview, showing the overview of what early college is, what are the benefits, the transferable credits, the time here at Danvers High, and then students that were interested showed their interest. And then there was an interview process with members of the faculty team to kind of go over and make sure that the students were serious, were fully aware of the responsibilities that they were getting themselves into, and kind of explain, is this really what you want to do, and what the benefits, and answer any questions that they have. And from there, we had them apply to North Shore Community College, who has their own requirements, and kind of worked it out with them on the next kids.
And then another thing is that we have that strong team of teachers are really kind of recruiting students, because we really want to help kids gain the confidence that they can do these coursework. And so someone that might not have thought themselves they could do community college level work, some of the teachers had reached out and really encouraged students to apply for that. So the other thing is North Shore is going to offer this Understanding Higher Ed as well over the summer, because they knew some kids were not all able to take part in it, so that we can get any sophomore that wants to take it over the summertime can take it and then join the junior year cohort taking English next year.
Well, that's why I said to Robin, I was like, every student should be required to take that class. I know how much value I'm sure it brought to be able to take that class. Do we know, like, so how did we get selected to work with North Shore Community College for this program, or did we ask?
I think we saw the grant. There was grant opportunities
Okay.
from the Department of Education. So, and I think we had been trying in the previous high school principal had been trying to kind of get a program off the ground. And so when we were awarded the grant, we wrote a grant and we used our Student Opportunity Act money right before COVID left. We wrote that early college was really a goal of ours. So we really doubled down. Really, I think the strongest part that got this off the ground was that teacher team that came together to really plan this and make it work, because they really understand the logistics of the high school and the needs of kids. And so it just really, James has headed that group, and they just really made the difference in the programs.
That's great. Well, thank you, James, for all your work, for the program. I went to community school for 2 years, and I still to this day say it was the best decision I've ever made. So I'm happy to hear that we're giving students those opportunities here.
Thanks, Alice. Robin or Jeff?
No, I mean, Mrs. Wormers had talked a lot about this at the last curriculum subcommittee, but it was really nice to hear from the student perspective too, because, we don't always hear that piece. So it was nice to hear what you learned and what your typical day is like. So thank you.
So you said that a lot of this was funded through a grant. Do students or parents have to pick? I'm assuming you get college credit coming out.
Yes, you do.
So you can apply it to UMass or BU or anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So will students or families be asked to pay for this in the future, or will we still have grants for this? Or
The idea is that it's going to stay a grant program for now, and so that is just how it's been. And I know other school districts that have done it. It's been free program.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity, and again, that support to transition people in to it is important. So,
Mrs. Carnes?
Lily, I just have a question. Were you hesitant to get involved, or did you jump right into this?
No, I was very much, as soon as I got the presentation, I was emailing him like almost every day, being like, when do I get information? When do I get to start? Because I was so excited, because college has always been a dream of mine. So I was really excited to get to start it early.
Now, do you think that the other 18 were the same way? Did you have to recruit any, or what, how did it work? Was it for everybody? From you, knowledge.
I don't know about everybody else, but I know that once I started talking to my friends who were also we had an assembly that was kids that people teachers recommended to do it. It wasn't a full grade assembly at first. And once I saw some of my friends in there, I was like, hey, are you actually going to do this? Because I really want to do this. And so I don't know if that ended up helping get them to come and do it or not, but.
And everybody pretty much loves it, would you say?
I mean, they like it, but not probably as much as I do.
That's why you're here.
As a sophomore, it's just a great opportunity to get literally a 2-year head start on what college is like, and your enthusiasm is obvious. So thank you. Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Reese.
I see Lily every single day, and I always hear you talk about this, but I just want to say how impressed I am with hearing this from your point of view, and knowing all the extracurriculars. We're in this literally the same exact stuff, and knowing that you're juggling being a sophomore and it's your first year back from remote learning, plus doing all these theater and a cappella and all these other extracurriculars, plus you're taking a college class. I'm just very impressed, and I'm very proud of you too.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Someone's drinking a lot of coffee to keep that schedule. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. All right, I know we're bouncing around here, but if we do believe it or not, if we do the Lappin Foundation now, we will have completed items of interest to the superintendent, school committee, information from student reps, and information from the superintendent. So let's do the Lappin Foundation, and then we'll invite public comment.
yes, we just we wanted to share that the town is looking to present the Lappin Foundation and Debbie Colton. A certificate of appreciation for her work with the Holocaust Symposium. And Adam worked with Debbie to develop that program and bring it to the town of Danvers. It was an intergenerational program, so there were high school students along with Danvers High faculty and administrators, as well as town members, community members that participated. So I think that will be happening in May. I thought it was happening this month, so we put it on the agenda, but that will be happening in May. So we just wanted to let you know that that was it. We really appreciate all the work that Adam did to work with Debbie to make that, because it was an amazing experience. I was fortunate to be part of that, and some members of here in the audience that did as well, and it was great. So
Great.
really just was, eye-opening, life-changing, even though you do a lot of learning around the Holocaust and what happened. It just was really, it expanded our understanding of it and really made a huge difference.
People who attended cannot say enough good about it from what I've heard, so that's great. So we thank them, and we look forward to seeing them. All right, so we will move on to items of interest from the community. Just a show of hands, how many people plan on speaking? I got one. Okay, well, here you go, sir. Microphone's yours. I'm going to ask you to go to the podium, introduce yourself, etc. Thank you.
You guys. Well, intimidating if I'm the only one speaking. It's okay.
Surprise.
Thank you for letting me speak. Guy Honorio. I have a son at the Highlands school system, and I've been here a few times, and I got to tell you, I am blown away today with the kids, with the high school girls, and that just, that's why I moved here to Danvers 12 years ago. Proud of them, and they want to be here. They're learning. The teachers are amazing, but there seems to be a little disconnect because kids and families are moving out of here. We're 20% down in the high school over the last couple of years. I think we know that. 600 students over the entire school system. Where's the disconnect? I don't know where that's coming from. I'm not someone like you guys, but that's frightening to me because I was accepted into this town 12 years ago. These people are great. Families are awesome. My kids have a great time. And then when they get older or whatever, something happens and they're running to different school systems. But everything I heard today was amazing. And I don't know where that change happens. Is it with the teachers? No way. Teachers here are unbelievable. Is it with parents? Who knows? Where is that disconnect? Is it the education that they're getting? I don't know. Is it the curriculum that they're being taught in one way or another? Maybe. It really comes down, I think, to you guys. How do you feel? And I don't know if this is questions that I can ask directly and get some answers to, but what are your thoughts on that?
Anyone?
Oh, are we allowed to answer?
You don't have to answer.
No, I would like to answer because I think that's why I'm sitting up here, because there is a disconnect. And I've firmly believed that there is a disconnect because you can get caught up in the chatter of the town. And unfortunately, there's negativity in it. And I know a lot of us do, myself included. And I hope that all of us, and I know actually all of us here, want to move this school system forward and be more positive. And I think what we need to do is celebrate this more. I don't think we've done a good job celebrating the good. I think we've unfortunately had to focus on the bad. And I think we need to focus more on the successes that we're seeing, whether it's teachers, students, administrators. We just have to do a better job of celebrating and making sure everyone sees that it's happening.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So I would add that I think that, first of all, most of the reduction over and above what is normal is kids going to Essex Tech, and that's fine, and everybody should, if they have the chance to go there, that's great. I think what we've been trying to work on for the last couple of years with the new administration, with the new principal, with the new assistant principals, is to try and trying to get the word out. Try to that video was an example of the type of stuff that we're trying to do, and that's really the plan, is to try and you have don't want to. I guess it is recruiting. It is you want to show the kids that are in 8th grade that DHS is a good place to go, and other schools are going to do it. Obviously, private schools are going to do it. The tech does it, so we need to do it too. I think that there's a lot of good going on at the high school right now. Reese, do you agree? And I think we saw that from the other kids that were here tonight. And hopefully that's going to become more known to everybody in the community. And that's what I hope will happen after I'm gone. And I think that's going to continue to go on. So we'll see what happens. But you're correct in that there's people have primarily gone to the tech. I mean, people have always gone to the prep. People have always gone to Fenwick. People have always gone to Austin Prep. People have gone to different schools around here. Pingree, even Governors on occasion. But we need to just try to get people to love the high school. So that's what we want to do.
Right. And I think you're partly right. And I was in here a few months ago, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but you've capped the amount of students that are allowed to go to Essex Tech.
No, that's that. First of all, that has nothing to do with us. That's something that the town is
okay
talking about doing.
Right.
But that's a town thing. That's not an us thing. That's going to be a town meeting.
Good to know.
On the warrant at town meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. And like was said today, the federal dollars or state dollars, that follows the students. So as we're losing more and more children to competitors, where does that leave the children who want to stay here? And then we have to go beg for more money or something. And then it goes from Division 2 to 3 to 4, and colleges may not look at those children as much. Like there's a problem, and I think it needs to be changed. And I'm a sports guy, and the way I think of it is, I put some notes. So the way I think of it is like the New York Mets. I don't like them, but great team, great people, great fans. Ownership is a little suspect. Okay, we don't need to be like the Mets. Ownership, I would think, the onus is on you guys. You guys run this, and there needs to be some changes. Whether it's the education itself, whether it's I don't know. I know we've gone through a lot of things in the past, and it's unfortunate, and we need to, always remember that, but keep moving forward. But some things need to change, and it needs to change for the kids, for the community. I just hope that changes sooner rather than later. So thanks for your time. Sorry if I was a little long, but more parents come down here and help out.
Thank you for speaking to us. Anyone else? Mr. Morose.
Howdy, Jim Morose, Danvers resident. I really wasn't going to speak, really.
You say that every time.
Until Guy spoke, okay? and so, when we talk about recruiting and trying to get the video, like I saw the video, it was great. And then while Guy was talking, I'm saying to myself, where were the statistics? I mean, when parents look at schools, they want to go, well, how many kids from Danvers High are going to four-year colleges or big-time colleges? Well, those are the statistics. I mean, that's a great movie to get kids motivated, but there needs to be a little bit more meat to Guy's point as to, what does Danvers have to offer, specifically, hardcore meat as far as education goes and that sort of thing. I just wanted to point that out. But it was a great video.
Thanks, Jim.
We agree with you, Jim. Thank you.
So I got to be honest with you. So first off, our kids go to the most competitive schools out there. Our senior class, our last classes before that have always been competitive. All that information is available. I think to sort of characterize the video that way is missing the point, quite honestly, sir. The point of the video is to show the culture, to show the student voice, and to show what the students think of their school. And that voice has been sorely missed and quite honestly excluded through much of this school year. Mm-hmm. So in addition to the video, that video was put into a package that was released to all 8th grade families that talk about outcomes. We're competitive with Ivy League schools through state schools. You saw the early college program tonight. So you're talking about a free avenue to gain college credit before you leave this institution. So we're committed to providing that type of opportunity along with one of the most robust AP programs around. We offer a variety of AP classes. So I think we're going to continue to make sure that all the information is out there. And to your point, sir, get that information out sooner. So it's not just about 8th graders, it's about 5th graders, it's about kindergartners. So we've committed to, a variety of programs where we're getting our students out in the community, visible, and working with younger age children as well. And we're going to continue to do that. But our seniors are competitive across the board, whether it's, whatever kind of institution you're looking for. Also, service in the military. We have a lot of kids that choose that avenue. We have kids that choose to go into the unions, to go into trade schools. We like to think of it as finding your own individual success. So we want to create a school where kids can choose the path and the families can choose the path that makes sense for their child. So I think we're dedicated to that. I think we've done a lot of steps this year to go. We still have work to do, but I just want to make sure that the video is put in the right context. We felt it was important to capture the culture and the experience of students this year, and we felt that was the way to do it.
I just say
thank you.
It's a work in progress, right? We've talked about this, how we're going to try it, and we're going to call it recruiting. It's about sharing the positive experiences, and Adam has done a lot of work with it. And I think in May or June, we could maybe share some more, because we are working on all the good that happens. We're not always good at documenting it, right? So to then go out and be able to share it. So that's some of the work that Adam and Mary and I, and with Andy in athletics, and looking at elementary field days, and can we send students out to field days to participate with our younger learners? And like Adam said, to really have that starting when they're younger, to have pride at being a Falcon and getting that really ingrained into them as they grow up. So I think we can keep sharing more pieces. The video was one element of that tonight that we picked of what we've put together. And then I think in future years, that'll become more and more robust to be part of a total package. But it's definitely something we've put a focus on this school year, and we'll continue to be able to share.
And it's going to take time. And I'm not sure if the community realizes how much work and how in dedication that the high school team has worked and spent time trying to change the culture and looking at student perspectives and really focusing on the great work that has been happening. So, but again, it's less than a year, Mr. Federico and his team has been in this position, so it's going to take time.
I thought I saw someone. Do you mind identifying yourself? You don't know.
I don't have to keep coming back, do I?
No, you don't. But Mary Beth Berry, current parent, former school committee member. I just want to speak to, because I've had children in this district. Years ago, the tech was vocational. That's what it was. That was for kids that were strictly really going into the vocations. They were not necessarily kids that were meant for the college. And so at the time, Danvers High, the public schools, didn't have to have a marketing plan. We have a brand new Essex Tech vocational agricultural school. They come in, it's brand new. Everything is beautiful. They come to local high schools, give presentations to the students. The students get very excited about it. My son wanted to go to the tech. My son, at the time, I felt hands-on learning was what he needed. Okay, because he's not great writer, he's not great, he's very good with speaking, but he always said, I want hands-on learning. Now, this is before we were doing our hands-on learning. We were strictly what public schools were doing, reading, writing, arithmetic. You sit at your desk, you listen to the teachers, you do your worksheets, you have homework. Well, times have changed. We have changed. Vocational schools have changed. I went to the open house at Essex Tech. Beautiful. I wanted to go there. The equipment, the plumbing, the HVAC, the electricity, the marine biology. Kids come out of there with, you're certified in OSHA, cosmetology, the bakery. It was wonderful. And I was like, oh, yes, you're going to make it there. He had good grades. He had the recommendation of the guidance counselors. He had no infractions for behavioral. He got waitlisted. His friends, some friends got in. My son is here. But at the end of the day, he's where he's supposed to be. I truly believe that. And he, as well, on an IEP, special ed student, but he's going to college. He's been accepted to 5 colleges, the 5 colleges he's gone to. Now, people will say to me, why is everyone leaving Danvers? There's a problem here. There is not necessarily a problem with why they're leaving. They're leaving because they're choosing to go somewhere that I can have different kinds of learning. Okay, it's a tech, you get everything, everything's free. Well, no, not everything's free. Okay, you're paying for it in your taxes. But they've also we're a district from elementary, preschool, all the way up to high school. They've been with the kids from pre-K, for most of them, to 8th grade. At that point, sometimes you are with the same children in every class that whole time. And at some point, some people, children, get sick of being with the same kids. I have a child that has that issue. And I say, guess what? In life, you're not necessarily going to be able to run away from the people you don't want to be around. You have to learn how to deal with it. People are going to choose, like Arthur said, the prep, Fenwick, any of the private schools. I'm a private school person. That's where St. Mary's, Bishop Fenwick, but I'm a public school parent and I'm a public school supporter. And I just want to say, when people are like, oh, there isn't. And Danvers is doing a lot of great work here. Again, with the former principal, with Adam, we have pathways. But we're a public school. We're not getting the funding that Essex Tech's getting. They're getting a lot of money to have their own print shop, to have all that equipment. Yes, we still have shop here at Danvers, okay? We still have a teacher. I have 2 desks my children made when they thought it was great. But we don't, as a community, have all that money to put into all that infrastructure, okay? We, again, are academics, but we have pathways that are coming, and they're adding more pathways. They're doing the biomedical, they're adding to that. We're doing a lot of great things, especially like Alice said. We need to market it more. Well, guess what? We've been talking about it every single school committee meeting, at least for the last 5 years. And people are just hearing what they want to hear when they want to hear it. Then they tune out, or then they leave their meeting when their topic is done. That's fine. That's your choice. But you are not hearing everything that is going on and the good work that is being done. And I am very passionate about this. And I have a senior this year and he's moving on. I'm still going to be an advocate for the school district. I may not be at that desk, but I can be an advocate outside. And I just want people to know. And I'm sorry I'm being so emotional and all, but this is just one of the reasons why I ran. But guess what? You have more power back here than you may necessarily have over there. And this is why I'm going to come into the meetings, Arthur, and speak, because I can't sit there and listen to people get up here and not know what they're talking about because they don't know everything that's going on. Read the handbooks, go to our website, see everything that's, there. Reach out to the administrators, teachers, principals. Hey, can we meet? Can we talk? I understand it may not be what you want to hear, but it is what it is. I applaud all the administration, all the principals, all the teachers, everyone, because they're doing such a hard job. And I applaud everyone that takes out papers and runs for school committee, because they are doing it, again, for the one reason: it is the children in this town, and it is for the town of Danvers and the community. So that's all I have to say. But again.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
You think she's going to run again?
We're just trying to get you to come to the meeting. Is there anyone who's daring to follow that? All right, I hear none. We can move back on with our agenda. Thank you, folks, for coming, and I invite everybody to stay and keep watching. So I believe, I'm sorry. Huh?
Can we take a quick break?
Oh, okay. This is the first time you've ever asked for a break in all of our years. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, 5 minutes or so.
Thanks.
Thank you. We are going to move on, if we could, to the student services update.
Oh, you're so good. Yeah, I'm gonna send it out.
Hello, everyone. How are you all? This is my second time before you this year, and I'm happy to be here. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Lynn O'Neill, and I am the new Director of Student Services for this school year. I'm going to keep using that because after June 30th, I don't think you can say new anymore. So this year, it was really important to me to really listen and learn about Danvers. I'm not from Danvers. I don't live far away, but I wanted to understand really how Danvers did business with regard to student services and what really works for us and what might need some altering. And I wanted to really be balanced in my thought process around that because no one likes coming in, no one likes a new person coming in saying everything here is wrong and we need to fix everything. And that typically that's not true. So really understanding that perhaps things are done differently here, but that different isn't always bad. So that's what I've spent my time doing this year. And I've done that through a variety of ways, which include meeting with students and families, looking at our profile of learners in each of our programs, who is serviced in each of our schools, looking at our out-of-district numbers, looking at our trends with out-of-district students, and, thinking about how we can do a better job keeping our students in district and what we need in order to do so. I've met with CPAC. For those of you who may be interested in what CPAC stands for, it's the Special Education Parent Advisory Council, and they are a group of parents who operate similarly to a PTO or a PAC, but specifically for students with special education or 504 interests. And they are a great group of women. Recruiting is always a hard thing because there's a lot of work entailed with CPAC. So they're always looking for new members. And overall, I've been spending my time trying to build relationships with our students, our families, our staff, and the group of administrators that I spend my time with. The next slide is the Student Services Department. Overall, I've been looking at the administrative structure, which includes the school psychologists. It also includes thinking about how we can do things perhaps a little differently in the future with some of the ads that are potential ads now that are still alive in the current budget of special education coordinator positions or team chair positions. We are unsure of the title, but we do know the function and we think it will be very helpful. Looking at the special educators and really shifting some of the vocabulary slowly at our elementary school level. We often call our special education teachers basic skill teachers. We're looking to move away from that and really look at calling them as special educators and for particular purposes that are not just about basic skills. I've been looking at the service delivery models for special education services, how we do business now, and perhaps how we need to do business in the future. That includes looking at the resources and the current methodologies that are employed in our schools. So there have been some slight changes. I have said to every audience that I've come into contact with that I am not looking to make sweeping changes this first year. However, if our professionals are looking for some small changes that we problem solve and think we can do in a more immediate way, we're happy to talk about that. So those pieces have started really from January 1 on. I told them no changes till January 1. So some slight things have happened since then. The next slide. I've been fortunate to be able to
tour the schools, be in classrooms in all of the schools. I've met with the status teams at each school, which include all of our special education teachers, our OTs, our PTs, our speech and language people. Importantly, an important piece, I have been able to meet and really align my thinking with the principals. That relationship is absolutely necessary for any of the good work to happen. The curriculum directors in our district are phenomenal, led by Mary, but Peter and Ellen and Julie, the work that they do thinking about special education is really impressive. The faculty at the school buildings are wonderful, and I've really enjoyed getting to know them and understanding what drives them each day. The next slide. Programming and services. We have a lot of programs in Danvers, and so I've been spending time taking a look at all of them, understanding that the continuity from pre-K through really post-grad, and looking at our trends of student profiles and cohorts to see, where we are and where the students are and what are the next steps for transitions from elementary to middle to high school. And that's really interesting work. The programming work is something that I can't help but be excited about, and I get really involved with. So consistency of staffing has been an important factor across the district. That is a major theme that parents have talked to me about, really making sure that we're able to retain our staff, once they've been trained and once we've really gotten to a spot that the good work is happening for our students, we want to make sure that they stay with us in Danvers. We've been working on processes for internal programs and movement in between programs so that we make sure that there's fidelity behind all of those processes, that students are not moved for reasons or factors other than what's they should be moved for. Because moving between schools and the elementary level is a really big deal. And we want to make sure all of those pieces have happened before we make that giant leap. As such, for that movement, ensuring appropriate interventions are a top priority, making sure that data is collected, that information is telling, that we have the appropriate information before we make decisions is a top priority. So I've been working with principals, with the curriculum directors, with the school psychologists who are part of my team at this point as team chairs, and the special education teaching staff to really make sure that interventions have been put into place. Next slide. And finally, Iep Compliance, because we need to make sure that our paperwork reflects the good work that we do. We need to make sure that our paperwork quality is consistent, that we're consistently putting out a professional document. These are legal documents, and they should go home to families in a way that makes sense, and that it's a packet that we can be proud of. That being said, that work is really important because the Department of Special Education, on the brain, DESE, will be coming in next school year for our tiered focus monitoring cycle. So our self-assessment is due this spring, and they'll be on site to visit our school district next year, which is always interesting. So, and they will be looking at all of the components that I just talked about, and I'm hopeful that we fare well. So it's been a wonderful year. I want to thank you all. I'm really happy to be here. I've really enjoyed getting to know everyone. I've enjoyed digging into the work, and I'm really excited to see where we can go. So
thank you. So questions from our school committee? Jeff?
No, I mean, the only thing I just in general is based on what you've seen in the past. I can talk louder if that helps for everybody who uses it. Now, just in general, your perspective, you mentioned a lot of the activities that you did, but just a general sense of how Danvers compares to other school districts that you've seen or worked with, just in general, things that are better, things that we need to improve on initially.
So I'm still in my things are, learning phase. Typically I'm a pretty positive person. And I really, in an effort to build relationships with faculty and staff, I really would love to concentrate on the positive and then internally work on the areas of improvement. But I think right away, our staffing at the elementary school is not, really in a place where we have the number of staff members to do the work in a way that I have seen it done other places. Our elementary schools have 2 special education teachers at each building for the general education of special education students. Those students who need some services in reading, writing, or math, maybe some academic support. There are only 2 special ed teachers at each building for 5 grades. So 6 grades. I forgot about kindergarten. We have our program teachers in some of the buildings, which then bump that number up. But for the general population, we have 2 teachers. And so, in other districts, there are more teachers so that you can have a more inclusive model versus more of a pull-out model, or a model that provides services every day in the classroom versus 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So, that is something that, is in planning. I would like to get to a space where we had more special education teachers at the elementary level. As we know, earlier intervention typically yields positive results. So.
Yeah, one of the things on that, and we're not going to go down this right now because this could take hours.
Yes.
But
no, I was told,
Yeah, I know. Right? Arts last night. We gotta go. The issue I've always thought too was space, right? Mm-hmm. So we could have more teachers, but some of the elementary schools in particular couldn't support a lot of space, right? There's not a whole lot of space for classrooms or breakouts. Mm-hmm. Now, I know Smith has solved a lot of that, which is great, but eventually I'd like to hear if that's still an issue, in some of the other schools where we've still got space constraints, we need to do something there, in addition to this. So that's good. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, Lynn, what you just said, like if you have 2 special ed teachers in the general ed setting at in each elementary school, then you really can't do co-teaching. So that's something down the road to really think about, because I think that's what the district believes in. And so it's not so much a space too, it's like actually we don't have the staff to be able to do it that way. Because in middle and high school, they do have the staff, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's something, we're not going to get to it today, Jeff, but that is something to talk about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
So and again, I don't want to go too deep into this now either, but just as a matter of numbers, how many more teachers do you need to get where you want to be?
Need, not want. No.
If it was the perfect world.
Well, I don't like to live in the past because I am so, I am loyal to the core. So I'm a Danvers person now. But in the last district I came from, I built the special education teaching population at each of the at bigger elementary schools so that there was 1 teacher for every grade level. But we had a different setup. We had 2 big elementary schools and 2 small elementary schools. Difference between 400 kids in one building and 200 in a small building. The 200 to 250 buildings had 2 teachers, special ed teachers. The 400 student buildings had a teacher at every grade level, K, 1, 2, 3, 4. We did not have 5th grade in the buildings. And allowed for, we had more classrooms. So some of the classrooms here, there's just 2 3rd grades. We had 3 or 4, of the grade levels, but that teacher was then able to go between all of those classrooms. So,
okay. No,
and
great.
Those are the conversations that we've had. And that's why it's at the high school level, at least this year, is the realignment of resources, right? To focus on those most at-need kids. So those are the conversations now as Lynn's getting on board. We're working with her on what her vision is. And then, we like to set the budget right in February, March, but it's also not static. So every, person that we have that leaves as attrition is another opportunity to look at how do we really want to align our resources to then come back to you in the fall and say, hey, we passed this in March, but this is what it really now looks like in September to operationalize it. So that's what we'll keep doing with looking at what Lynn's vision is.
And there are some ways to get that support in the classroom prior to getting to a space where there's a teacher. There are more teachers. So, before we get there, we're looking to creatively look at how to use the staffing that we have with oversight from special education teachers, so that we get more hands on deck in more classrooms.
All right.
Great, thank you.
The information, is helpful. It's helpful to know your perspective on what's happening. We have brought you on board to, help this program run and get better and keep doing well in what we're doing well and get better where we can. So the information is very helpful.
Thank you.
The only question I really had was talking just for a moment about other than special ed, because student services encompasses other items, whether it's guidance or school psychologists. I mean, we hear information that there are behavioral issues in the schools, bullying, things that we, and a lot of it may come out of the pandemic or the world generally, but it's something we have to pay attention to. And I feel like that's got to be something that it sort of has to get to the top of our radar or close to it over the next year or so. So do you feel that there's things within your world that you can do to help us there?
It's funny that you say that. So Mary Warmers and I have been working on really making sure that everyone in the district understands what our staff does currently. So we have BCBAs, which are board certified behavior analysts in district. We have behavior technicians in district. We have social workers at every school. So we want to make sure that all of our staff understand who to go to for what type of behavior need, who to access for intervention or consultation, and really outlining, looking at the job description of all of those people and putting it in sort of an org chart to make sure that everybody's needs get met. Because currently we are finding that we need to sort of reset where people which staff members are accessed due to a behavior issue. Because, something that is perhaps at a general education in the classroom need, people are accessing the BCBA, which is a highly specialized position. So how are we jumping from there to here? And so, through understanding and teaching our staff, perhaps they'll learn, those sort of incremental steps of which to access before they get to the highly specialized position. So we are working on sort of an overall rollout of like a behavior support team.
Good. I know from talking with parents and from what we're hearing, it's highly necessary at this point. So thank you. Everyone else all set? All right. Well, thank you, Lynn. Good to see you.
All right.
We hope
Thank
you've
you.
had a good first year.
Thank you. It's been great.
All right. So now we're going to move on to good night. The discussion and potential votes regarding central office administrative positions. People know it's no secret. We've been having executive sessions before every meeting for several months now. And we have now, we're in a position we can now put some closure and discuss certain items. So I believe at this point, I will accept a motion. We have worked out an arrangement here that we want to tell the town about. And Marvin, I believe you're the lucky person.
I'll be waiting.
Please.
Okay, so I would like to vote to approve the Danvers School Committee entering into a separation agreement with Dr. Lisa Dana, and to authorize the chair to execute the written agreement on the behalf of the school committee. Such agreement to contain the following terms. Dr. Dana agrees that her contract in effect through June 30th, 2026 will terminate on August 31st, 2022. The school committee will pay Dr. Dana a total sum of $280,000. Dr. Dana will release the school committee department and its employees from all claims, and the school committee will continue to provide Dr. Dana with paid leave through August 31st, 2022 out of her accrued sick leave.
A second.
So we have a motion and a second. I don't know if there's any discussion or if we want to go right to a vote, but I will open it to the committee.
Nope.
Okay. So with that, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Carries. I do have a statement to add. Dr. Lisa Dana has informed the school committee that she will retire on August 31st, 2022. She made this decision after a great deal of reflection while out on medical leave. Dr. Dana has had a long, productive, and beneficial relationship with the district, and we support her decision. Lisa has been with the Danvers Public Schools for 32 years and served as superintendent for nearly 18 years. She is currently the longest-serving superintendent on the North Shore. Dr. Dana began her tenure as superintendent, leading the district through the unexpected death of her predecessor. She oversaw the construction of 3 new school buildings and led 3 strategic plans, with each being more focused on the mission and vision of this district. Dr. Dana and her team supported the families affected by the Danvers port explosion, the influx of families that came to the district as a result of state program housing homeless families in local hotels. She led students, staff, and the community through our most painful time, when math teacher Colleen Ritzer was murdered, and then again through a pandemic that required an entirely new approach to education. Dr. Dana worked to develop a solid administrative team, as well as faculty and staff that are focused on educating and supporting the students of Danvers. We know they remain committed to the district as we begin to search for our next superintendent. We thank Dr. Dana for her many contributions and wish her a happy and healthy retirement. So a couple of other items to move forward with. Now we have, at this point, we still have our co-superintendents, co-acting superintendents who will continue in those roles until Keith will leave in beginning of June. Mary will continue thereafter. We'll have more details about that at the next meeting. At this point, we can now start thinking about the search for the next superintendent. And the first thing we'll need to do as a school committee is to appoint a subcommittee of the school committee for the purpose of beginning and running our superintendent search. And I believe that the committee is in support of Robin and Alice leading that effort. I think you two will do a terrific job and bring good new voices to the process. And I'm sure you'll have more to say about what the process will look like and who we'll be working with at future meetings. But I appreciate your willingness to take this on. And we thank you very much. We are also searching for, and we have posted for an HR, human resources professional manager to come in for the school system human resources need. I believe Mary's actually working on interviews now on that and her team. And in addition, we will be posting for a business manager for the school district. And that will be done through central office as typically is the case, but Jeff will also be helping out with the interviews on behalf of the school committee. And Jeff, I appreciate that. And let's see. Oh, Pam Crum, who has worked with Keith for several years and most recently full-time this year on the financial piece, will be sort of working as an interim financial director. And she has really gotten great reviews from Keith, and town manager spoke very highly of what she's done in her relationship that she's fostered with folks at the town level. So she'll be taking additional duties on in terms of the financial piece while we look for Keith's replacement, though everybody I talk to says you're not really replaceable. So, but we will do our best. So there is a lot happening. We're trying to move forward with alacrity, but of course, it's important that whatever happens, we find the right people. Better to do this right than do it fast. We want people who can really serve this district and the town of Danvers well. So I know a lot of people have been waiting for quite a while, and if you've been observant, we've been working diligently behind the scenes to get a plan together that we think is going to work for this district. So with that, unless did I leave anything out, or have I covered it all?
I think you
I guess
covered
we
it all.
covered it all.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So Keith and Mary, thank you very much for your continued good work and keeping this district moving forward. And just the presentations by the students tonight and the enthusiasm of the staff and our teachers show that, we have not lost a step. We're working very hard. You guys are doing a great job leading the way, so we appreciate it. Let's see, what do we have next? I guess we're moving on to unfinished business.
The acting superintendents recommend the approval of review of section D as per MASC for a second reading.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none. Carries. One more policy item.
The acting co-superintendents recommend the approval of review of the Danvers school lunch charging procedures for a second reading.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Carries. We have the school calendar, including early release days.
The acting co-superintendents recommend the adoption of the 2022-2023 school calendar / early release days.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
Oh, second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Carries. Consent agenda, which includes homeschool requests, fundraising requests, field trip requests, and acceptance of donations.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion about any in particular items on the consent agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? None. Carries. Minutes, Mr. Secretary.
Okay.
For the last time.
I move to approve and release the minutes from the March 14th, 2022 regular meeting, and approve and not release the minutes from the March 14th, 2022 and the March 22nd, 2022 executive sessions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there is a second. Thank goodness. We've been here all night. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? None. Carries. Communications from whoever wants to present from our team.
So the consortium, we approved the budget for the consortium at their last board meeting, and they'll be finalizing the packet of information for us to share at the May school committee meeting with their finalized budget. It was a 3.75% increase over the current year.
Thank you, Keith. Legislation, we were lucky enough to have Senator Lovely here, so that has been taken care of. Subcommittee liaisons. So I'm sorry. Curriculum and assessment.
Okay, so Ms. Wormers talked a lot about the dual enrollment, which we talked a lot about at the last meeting, and just a couple important other things. As far as elementary, we talked about some of the changes with reading and the science of reading, and then middle school, we talked a little bit about the Carnegie Math that they have started. Ms. Wormers, what year are we for Carnegie Math? I forget. The first year? It's the first year. So we talked about that and going back to the multi-tiers system support for all learners. So that's where we are. All I've got for that.
Thank you. Equity.
We met on March 23rd, right? The end of March. I do think that this is just, I want to acknowledge the emails and phone calls and conversations that I've had, and hopefully other members of the committee have had regarding the read aloud, the culturally responsive read aloud. I've appreciated every conversation that I've had, and I continue to ask the community to reach out and have those conversations with me. In the future, I do think we could do a better job of sharing, the parental rights making sure that parents feel like they have that open door of communication to the principals. And I want to acknowledge, I know they all left, all the principals that were here who had those conversations. And from my point of view, they were very good conversations that I had with these families. A majority of them came from a place of positivity and love, and not against what was being taught, but more about them having control over the conversation. And I think that's just a message I want us to continue to think about as a school committee and as administration, where the parents can have a voice in what is shared in school versus what's shared at home.
Yeah, I would say, just in comment to that, obviously we all received a lot of emails, and I think we all respect the right of parents to decide what their children are and are not ready for in certain situations. And there's no question that, this is the readings are one of those things that are going to generate more comment. And I found most of the comment very thoughtful, as you did, Alice. And I think that, we can trust parents to make the decisions that are best for their children. But at the same time, we also know that part of our goal, part of our mission, especially in the world today, where students are challenged in so many ways and where feeling like they belong is critical from the time they reach us until they leave our system, that we have to do everything we can to foster that atmosphere. And I do appreciate every parent's point of view. I do think we're doing the right thing in presenting the information. But, it's something we all learn about together as we go forward together, how to communicate and how to have these discussions. So I too appreciate the emails we received. Policy we're done with. Deep.
The next deep meeting is this Wednesday morning at Brookline Bank. So everybody should go, right? All right. Everybody go. What time? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Everybody try to be there a little early. 7:55.
Danvers Cares.
Very busy meeting. Okay, Danvers Cares. Teen Health and Safety Guide will be inserted in the Danvers Herald on April 29th. Extra copies will be available at DHS on April 21st. Light the Night Purple Night is happening on May 4th, and you can register at 6:30 p.m. that night. What else is happening? The Health and Unity Experience is happening on Saturday, June 4th. There's going to be tables, activities, food trucks on site. And if you're interested in joining the committee, you can contact Dave Thompson. And the other big thing that's coming up right now is the collection for prom donation campaign. So if you have old prom dresses, they are collecting it at Danvers High School to be able to give to kids. And there's a donation, and they're raising money for women's shelters. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. Yep. CPAC, we had Lynn made a nice mention of what CPAC is doing. Do we know when the next meeting date is, Mary? Or Keith? Or Lynn? $29 people. That's, yeah. That's great. Okay. Great. Thanks for jumping in, Lynn. Okay, Danvers Human Rights and Inclusion. I was not able to attend the most recent meeting, but I know that the NAACP made a presentation at that meeting that, and then followed up with a presentation at the Selectmen. And, it'd be interesting to see where all of that takes us. And I suspect that conversation will continue at the next meeting, which is on the 21st of this month. Okay, budget, Mr. Taverna.
The monthly budget report will remain on target to finish the year balanced.
Okay. And personnel, Mr. Taverna.
Quiet month, middle of the school year. I'm
Okay.
sure we'll start to pick up as we start our spring hiring as we come up into April, which is hard to believe. We're already in the middle of April.
All right. Let's see. Tomorrow night, we have our hearing before the Finance Committee, which I believe it's a town hall. And Keith and I will present the budget, and Keith and I and Mary will present the budget and answer any questions that they may have about our budget, as we did at the select.
Tag team, because it's also kindergarten orientation night.
So there
Mary and
you
I
go.
will both start here, and then I will head over to Finance Committee with you. Mary will finish up here, and then head over if we're still going. So
I'll
we're
just-
gonna event hop on a Tuesday night.
Just tap dance till you get there. And I do encourage anyone on the committee who wants to come down. And if nothing else, to see how the process works out, or watch it on TV, just to see how it plays out, the kinds of questions we get, and because you never know when you'll be the one presenting. So, so with that, it's just about time for the motion to adjourn. We will be reorganizing next month, which typically means a new chair. And next month we'll also definitely have a new member. So again, Arthur, thank you for your service. And this has been an interesting year to be chair of the school committee. I appreciate the support and good advice and ideas that you've all shared, and just the general support I've received. So thank you all very much. It's been a good year, but a tough year. So with that, it's Arthur's favorite motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Thank you and good night, Dan.